Hi, and welcome to another look at what's new in Visual Studio Team Services. I'm Alex Nichols.
And I'm Alex Mullans. And together we're going to walk through some of the new features that we released in the Sprint 130 update.
Great. So let's jump in. And as we look through the release notes, you'll notice that we made some improvements across the product, but really focused on improving some of our integrations. So that could be across packages, containers, GitHub, Jenkins, even some team collaboration. But Alex, I think let's take a look at package management first. And for those that have yet to check out package management or maybe have it installed but have yet to set up some feeds, maybe tell me more about what package management is all about and maybe why it's a good time to use it.
Sure. Yeah, so packaging is really all about helping you share and reuse code, whether that's code that you've built and published yourself or code that's been built and published to NuGet.org or the NPM registry. Let's start with the first scenario, where in this sprint we've made it easier for both you and your team to consume open source. The way to do that is with upstream sources, which connect your VSTS package feed to public registries and also keep a saved backup copy of each package you use as you use it. So if I look at a feed today, you'll see some packages that I've published here, some absolutely great high-quality demo packages. And then if I switch the filter on this feed, you can see that I've already saved some packages from the NPM registry. If you want to get started with this yourself, it's pretty easy to do so just by creating a new feed. So I'll go ahead and call this. And you can see that by default, we configure upstream sources for you. So when you click Create, and then connect to the feed, which I've already done here, but you can follow the UX if you're doing this for the first time. So if I come to my shell and run npm install on a package I could get from the npm registry, let's in this case choose Express, then these packages will come down just as you'd expect coming from the public registry. But if I switch back to my VSTS feed, we'll hit refresh here, you can see now that the feed has saved a copy of all of the packages that you used from npm.js. So this starts to let you kind of track the open source that you're using in your project. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about sharing packages that you make with your team. If you've been a package management user for a while, you know that sometimes it's challenging for your users to know which feed to get your package from and which versions are most readily available. We've built a new feature this sprint called package badges that are intended to make that easier. So let's go find a package that I've made. We'll take this bacon package. And you'll see that there's now a new create badge option in the list of feed commands. The first time you want to use badges, you'll want to come to feed settings and go ahead and enable package badges. Since I've already done that, I'm just going to go back and create a badge for this package. If you've seen badges on GitHub READMEs, these work exactly the same way. And then we give you Markdown and an image link that you can kind of copy and paste however you want. So I'll go ahead and take this, and one of the best ways we recommend doing this is using your project homepage in VSTS. So I'm going to navigate there now. And adding this badge as a component on your README. You can see that I already have a build badge here, and I'm going to add a package badge right underneath. So now users, whenever they find your project, can see both your build status and the newest version of your NuGet package.
Now looking over to release, let's talk about containers. So whether you use Azure Container Registry or Docker Hub, now you can configure your releases automatically to pull from the registry. So some of those benefits include of deploying through VSTS, because there are a few different ways you could set this up. But going through VSTS, you can do things like parameterized startup comments or commands, rather, and based on the target environment that you use, you can have a unique tag and set the build ID as well. So let's take a look at over in a release here, and let's just show if we open up and start a new release definition, for example, we can go ahead and create a new artifact and show what it's like to get that set up. So we can maybe pick a process there, but add an artifact. And now there's these options where we actually added these back in the November timeframe, but now we're adding some more features here. So you can choose something like Azure Container Registry or Docker Hub there. And to show an example of maybe how you can use this in one of your releases, let's go over to one of the other release definitions I've already got set up. go into phase 1 here and look at one of the tasks, and you'll notice that we can use the container artifact that we have and the container registry and do things like specify the image, the registry, and then down lower we can do something like specify the variable for the tag. So that'll pick the right image that we want to deploy in this release.
Continuing in build and release, let's take a look at some of the changes we've made in artifacts and triggers. Specifically, we've made it easier for those of you deploying based on a GitHub repository to filter releases to only be created by certain Git branches. Let's take a look at that. If I come over to this release, which you can see is based on a GitHub repo, let's look at the triggers. And I can now, using a wildcard syntax that should be familiar to you, I can choose to do continuous deployment on, let's say, all of my users' branches, except perhaps this one branch where I'm doing some experimentation or otherwise don't want to deploy. If you're using VSTS builds, we can give you the same functionality as well as a branch picker that's aware of your favorites. So if you've already chosen the branches that you want to work with frequently, those are right here in the picker when you do a continuous deployment trigger setup.
Great, so that's it for now. That's some of the features, but go ahead and check out the release notes for more. And thank you for watching. Go ahead and get started with VSTS, where you can plan better, code together, and ship faster. Thanks for watching, and go ahead and subscribe for more videos.